Hello, James from Busybodies here. I just wanted to do a quick video with our big top tips on helping to support development of language and understanding. So in this video you're going to see a range of ideas on how you can support your children at different stages in speaking, understanding and developing in those areas. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with me, but let's get on with the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 5 times rule. So that is focusing on 1 or 2 words as the words that you want your child to use. So that could be something like juice. It could be something like hat. It could be something like door or shoes or up or cat. I don't know. Any words that you want your child to use, and just focus in on 1 or 2 of them, because children need to hear words over and over again in context to understand them. So hearing the word juice out of context isn't that helpful. Instead, it's better to be sat close, face on ideally, with your child, and then, ooh, juice. You want juice? Juice. Nice juice. You've got juice. I've got juice. Juice. So that's it. So they're hearing the word juice in context over and over again. And what they'll do is they'll understand that this we're doing, we're drinking, we're holding, we're tasting is juice. And it could be milk, it could be cup. My cup, your cup, cups. It's just repetition, repetition, repetition. So it's just saying it over and over again in context so they understand what it is. So focus on 1 or 2 words and repeat it in context, in the situation. Perfect. That's the 5 times rule. So the next point is all about modelling language. So there's a tendency to believe that questions are good. So asking a lot of questions will lead to language development and vocab, longer sentences, and them asking questions in return. I believe, and I think it's important instead, to focus on modelling language. So if you're playing alongside your child in the train track, you could say, "What have you got?" And you could say, "What's that?" And "Where's he going?" Etc. And if they don't have the language to respond to you, it's a kind of a one-way conversation. What's much better and more helpful is to be going, "Car, over the bridge. Whoa, red car. 2 cars. Big car, small car. Ooh, here comes the car." Stuff like that. So instead of asking a lot of questions, we're modelling the language we want them to learn. So car, big car, 2 cars, 1, 2, over the bridge. Because you can use this method at any stage. So you can learn concepts like over, behind, round. It's kind of those kind of concepts. You can do counting. You can model counting the trains. You can model red. You can model triangles. So instead of asking them, "How many trains have you got?" you can be starting off by saying 1, 2, 3, 4 trains. Well done, you've got 4 trains. I've got 2 trains. And there they're hearing a lot more language, and they're hearing it in context, so they can see, yeah, James has got 2 trains. I got 4 trains. So there's no one-way conversation happening. "What's that? Where's he going?" There's 4 trains. Trains. Oh, over the bridge. And eventually they'll start repeating these things back. And it's just modelling language. It's commentating all through the day. We all do it all of the time, talk to ourselves. But this time we're just talking and children are listening and they're going, "Ah, yes, cup, train, over the bridge." If you just talk, they're just hearing so much more language. So it's important to model language, not so much focus on questions, focus on modeling language. Perfect, well done. So the next one's all about expanding what they say. So if a child comes up to you and they say, ball, you could say, yes, big ball. I got ball. You want ball? 2 balls. Throw ball. Catch ball. So you're expanding what they say. Or you could say, thank you, ball. So you're just adding words to what they've already said. So they said ball, and I'm replying by saying big ball. Or I'm replying and saying red ball. Or, stuff like that. So you're just adding a few extra words before and afterwards. So James got the ball. Stuff like that. So it's just expanding what they're saying. So that's a nice, easy one. So they're saying something, you're repeating it back, but expanding on it. Brilliant. So another one is creating a language-rich environment. So lots of language. So focused language, in the now, in the here language, and in context language. So it's all about seeing, being a good listener, a good observer, what's your child doing, and then getting involved and commentating on what they're doing, singing a song. So downstairs, when we had sand, a big one would be filling up the sand pot, filling up the sand pot, or fill it up, fill it up, fill it up to the top, top, top. And then children would sing it back. It's just a nice, simple song, and you can sing and you can talk about anything, really. As I said in the previous one, we're all talking to ourselves all of the time. So just as you're cooking, as you're tidying, as you're doing whatever you're doing, just talk along at the same time. So, tidying up the bricks, I'm tidying up the instruments, tidying up the bricks. And yeah, that just really helps because they're hearing language, they're hearing language in context, they're repeating language. So yeah, just lots of focused language. Not too much, so don't just think, okay, so I need to be using really complex sentences all the time because James told me to use lots of language. It's more about making it fun, songs, focused language. That's really good. Okay. Another 2 things to consider is slowing down and making time. So slow down when you're speaking. So I talk naturally very, very fast. But when I'm talking to children, I slow down. So I can emphasize certain words. So you got the ball. Yes, you have the ball. The ball. And also it's a lot easier to understand when you're talking slower. So I really try and talk slowly and clearly, ideally face on, good eye contact, using all of my mouth to pronunciate properly. The other part of that is making time. So when you say something, pause, give a little bit of time for them to think about their response and then respond. There's a lot going on in their brains and then they got to coordinate that with the lips and get it out. So don't rush, don't just talk, have a little break, wait for a response. Silence is okay, it's just thinking time, and then you can talk again. So, the car's going over the bridge. Blue car, yes, blue. So you don't have to be talking all of the time. Giving little breaks will give them time to respond, time to think about what they want to say. So give time and talk slowly. Okay. And the last thing is sharing stories. So find yourself some nice stories to read. There's lots of different stories. So it doesn't have to be lots and lots. You can find something that your children are interested in and find that story and read it together. You don't have to follow all of the words in the story. Make them up as you go along. Make it fun. Point out things in the pictures. Studies have shown that just reading one story a day increases the amount of language that children are exposed to massively. So just taking the time just to read one story is great. But if you've got time to read more, that's even better. So sharing stories and enjoyment of stories is really important. Yeah, and that's our list and our top tips on how to encourage speech and language development. As I say, this is just some ideas. There's many different ways of doing it. Each child is different. Each family situation is different. It's really just a case of making time just to speak to your child. And don't go overboard with the amount of language. Really focus in on what you're saying, how you're saying it, and all the other tips that are in this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, email me, ring me, pop downstairs and see me. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.